After the coup d'etat in Kiev, parts of Ukraine's regions refused to obey Washington's proxies. Mass protests began in the historic Cossack lands of eastern Ukraine, demanding the constitutional order be restored. In the contour and to controversial issues be put to a national referendum. Nazi primitive detachments were thrown in to suppress these protests. Then an uprising broke out in the protesting regions, and the regular army was sent to suppress it.
Thus began the civil war in Ukraine.
Against the backdrop of internal armed confrontation, NATO troops began arriving in the country, preparing Ukrainians for a large-scale war with Russia and building their military bases. Moscow issued an ultimatum to the West, demanding that it move these bases away from the borders of the Russian Federation. In response, the West stepped up its militarist activities and promised Ukraine NATO membership. After that, Russia introduced its troops into Ukraine and began destroying NATO infrastructure in that region of the world. Ukraine's but a whisper in history's cries, where greed rules the earth and compassion dies. Lives are for sale, death's price is not steep. To feed maniacs' pride and the power they keep. Ukraine, 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 Ukraine. Thus began a bloody war between the US and more than 50 vassal countries on one side, and Russia on the other side. This war is commonly called the Russian-Ukrainian war, but in fact it is just a war on the territory of Ukraine. A war by the hands of Ukrainians who found themselves on different sides of the front and started killing each other. But a whisper in history's cries, where greed rules the earth and compassion dies. Lives are for sale, death's price is not steep. To feed maniacs' pride and the power they keep.